All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It is Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You can see in the background, we got some new stuff going on in our construction here.
Progress.
Progress. Yep, we like progress.
Got lights.
Got lights. Yep, fan.
Mm-hmm.
Getting there. All right, today we're continuing on part 2 of a 4-part parallel. Jesus is placed on the cross. Mark chapter 15, starting at verse 22. And he brought Jesus to a place called Golgotha, which means place of the skull. They offered him wine drugged with myrrh, but he refused it. Then the soldiers nailed him to the cross. They divided his clothes and threw dice to decide who would get each piece. It was 9 o'clock in the morning when they crucified him. A sign announced a charge against him. It read, "The King of the Jews." 2 revolutionaries were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. The people passing by shouted abuse, shaking their heads in mockery. "Ha! Look at you now," they yelled at him. "You said you were going to destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days. Well then, save yourself and come down from the cross." The leading priests and teachers of religious law also mocked Jesus. "He saved others," they scoffed, "but he can't save himself. Let this Messiah, this King of Israel, come down from the cross so we can see it and believe him." Even the men who were crucified with Jesus ridiculed him. And now the commentary. Throwing dice was a way of making a decision by chance. The soldiers gambled to decide who would receive Jesus' clothing. Roman soldiers had the right to take for themselves the clothing of those crucified. This act fulfilled the prophecy of Psalm 22, verse 18. Crucifixion was a feared and shameful form of execution. The victim was forced to carry his cross along the longest possible route to the crucifixion site as a warning to bystanders. There were several shapes for crosses and several different methods of crucifixion. Jesus was nailed to the cross. Condemned men were sometimes tied to the crosses with ropes. In either case, death came by suffocation as the person lost strength and the weight of the body made breathing more and more difficult. A sign stating the condemned man's crime was often placed on a cross as a warning. Because Jesus was never found guilty, the only accusation placed on the sign was the crime of being the King of the Jews. Jesus could have saved himself, but he endured this suffering because of his love for us. He could have chosen not to take the pain and humiliation. He could have killed those who mocked him. He could have suffered through it all, but he suffered through it all because he loved even his enemies. We had a significant part in the drama that dark afternoon because our sins were on the cross too. Jesus died on the cross for us, and the penalty for our sins was paid by his death. The only adequate response we can make is to confess our sins and gratefully accept the fact that Jesus paid for them so we don't have to. Don't insult God with indifference toward the greatest act of genuine love in history. When Jesus and John had asked Jesus for the places of honor next to him in his kingdom, Jesus told them that they don't know what they're asking. That was found in Mark 10, verse 35 through 39. Here, as Jesus was preparing to inaugurate his kingdom through his death, the places on his right and on his left were taken by dying men, criminals. As Jesus explained to his 2 power-hungry disciples, a person who wants to be close to Jesus must be prepared to suffer and die as he himself was doing. The way to the kingdom is the way of the cross. If we want the glory of the kingdom, we must be willing to be united with the crucified Christ. And again, in America, we don't know what that means.
Right.
And yet you look at the news, people in Africa are being slaughtered daily for their relationship with Jesus.
Yeah.
Brutally.
We get upset if we get made fun of.
Yeah.
You know,
somebody says a cross word to us online or something like that, and then we freak out and get all worked up about it. But people there know what true faith is. They get slaughtered daily.
Yeah.
women, children, that those evil people there don't have any care about it.
And we're very, very spoiled, arrogant people here in the United States, that's for sure.
Yeah. And we will see all those people, you know, and they will share their testimonies with us, most likely. You know, we'll all know each other's story, and we'll be amazed at the strength and the power of Christ himself in other people.
Right.
So it will amaze us for sure.
I can't even fathom what things will be like whenever I meet Christ.
Yeah.
Face to face.
Yeah, it's going to
I
be.
just can't even fathom what that is going to be.
And you and I are studying Revelation right now, and right away in the first chapter, it shows what Christ really looks like, with the face burning like the sun.
Almighty.
Yeah, and so thankfully we won't be in our sinful nature then, so we won't immediately pass out and die because John didn't. He was afraid and he fell over, but once we have passed from this life and body to our heavenly life and bodies, we will be able to stand looking at Jesus, not necessarily God the Father, because he's still hidden, and we'll find that out when we go further into Revelation, but he's still hidden, but we'll be able to see Jesus face to face, all of us, all at once, and that's the amazing part too.
And that's what the cross was all about.
Yeah.
Is making a bridge so that we can get there. Because he is the only way to get to God the Father.
Yeah.
So all this torture that he went through, and the suffocation and the cross, that was just for our punishment.
Yeah, and the separation later, when he does that, he'll be separated from God. So it's hard for us to fathom, and it's very easy, especially for us here in America, to kind of gloss over all that and just kind of go on with our lives when our coffee isn't the right temperature and everything.
Right.
So, but other people around the world do definitely know what they're dealing with.
That's true.
We can only hope to be like them when it's our turn here.
I actually hope I don't have a turn, but that's just me
Right.
being selfish.
It's coming here for sure.
It is.
Okay, hope everybody has a glorious day, and we'll talk to you later.